Let's talk about shoes at Lululemon. They recently just came out with the CITYVERSE sneaker, which is their first casual shoe. They come in men's and women's sizes, so I wanted to pick these up and review them for you guys, give you my first impressions and honest thoughts, and also compare them to the other shoes that I own, the Blissfeels and the Chargefeels. I will have these all linked down below in the description in case you are interested in checking any of these shoes out that I mentioned in today's video. It would really help support my channel if you do decide to shop with those links, so thank you if you do. But without further ado, let's break down the shoes and their pros and cons and my thoughts about each one. Hey guys, if you're new here, my name is Gabby, but welcome back to my channel where we are reviewing the new CITYVERSE shoes from Lululemon. So I did go with the triple white colorway because I thought that these would be the most timeless, classic, and versatile, but they do also come in precocious pink, jade whisper, and a new peach color, I believe. Again, like I said, this one was probably my favorite colorway out of all of those options, but they do come in the men's in like a dark gray with like a kind of brown sole to it, and I do like that colorway as well. So I mean, you definitely could swap between men's and women's sizes, but I do like Lululemon shoes because they are kind of designed for like specific anatomy, like female anatomy versus like male anatomy, because our feet are different in like the way we carry our bodies and move and etc. So you can see all of that on Lululemon's website, but that is why I like these shoes as well, because they are intended for women's feet first. But here's kind of the overview of the shoe. I will insert some clips of a try on and kind of overview so you guys can see up close what they look like. But to show you here, we have a Lululemon logo at the back. This is kind of a higher heel detail, and then it kind of cuts pretty low, I would say, right here. It does come with a second set of laces in case you want to swap these ones out to kind of have more of a customized look, but they do come with the white laces as kind of standard. It does have a rubber sole with pretty good traction on the bottom, as well as the Lululemon logo right here. And then the upper is technically a mixed material upper is what they call it. I don't really know the specifics of what kind of material it is, but as you can see, this part here is kind of more of a softer, I almost want to call it like a styrofoamy slash paper mache type of texture. I don't really know how else to describe it to you. It is very unique. It is not fabricy, but it is not like super leathery in type. But this part here is kind of more of that synthetic leathery texture slash type of material. So they do call it mixed material, and again, I don't really know what exactly that is, but it's definitely an interesting kind of material to the upper. And then of course the sole is rubber. They do have the Lululemon logo on the side of the shoe as well. I would say that this is not a true crisp white. It is a little bit more of a off-white, and then the kind of, I don't know, other material here is more of a beigey creamy color. So if you're looking for a super crisp white, I wouldn't describe these as them. Size wise, I went with my true size 6.5. I would say that they fit great that way. It does say on the website if you have a wide foot to size up half a size. I wouldn't describe these as a super chunky wide sneaker. They are more of a kind of tailored, tapered silhouette to them. It says it's supposed to be a classic style, which I would agree with. However, they don't feel too narrow or too tight. It still has a good amount of room in the toe box, which I do really like, since I don't want to obviously have tight shoes. I do find them very comfy. They do have a nice kind of cushiony, soft interior foam insole. They do say it has a 3D molded support and cushioning to kind of hug your foot and give you support there. However, I would not say that it has a ton of arch support. Again, like any casual sneaker, it's not going to be, you know, that supportive for your foot. Although I would say they are comfy enough to walk in. I would not, you know, maybe do a super long stint in them if you do have like arch problems like I do. I have plantar fasciitis, mild plantar fasciitis, so these probably aren't the best shoe option for those cases, but obviously I don't think any casual sneaker really would be. And with that being said, they aren't really intended to be used for running or training or anything like that. It is meant to be an everyday type of shoe. But now let's get into my actual thoughts and first impressions. So I really wanted to love these, honestly, but I don't know if I do. I'm not a huge fan of the design of the sneaker. I find that this kind of, I don't know, design to it just doesn't do it any favors. They kind of remind me of like bowling shoes, and I don't know, it just looks kind of odd when I like try and style them or like look at them top down. And I don't know, for me, I think I would just rather reach for like my Nike Dunk Lows or Air Force Ones over these ones, to be honest. And the other gripe that I had with it is that it's not a crisp bright white, which I was really hoping they would be, because I wanted another casual like white sneaker that I could kind of flip between. And I was really hoping that, you know, these would be a little bit more fashionable, I guess, than they, I guess, are to me. I do find them very comfy. I've only worn them around the house though, because I am thinking about returning them actually, so I don't want to get them too dirty, but I have worn them around the house for a good stint and just to try them out, wear them in a little bit to see like how the cushioning and support holds up. I would say they are pretty similar to the Blissfeels in terms of like cushioning. However, I probably would still go with the Blissfeels if I am walking or standing for a long period of time, because they do have a little bit more support and I find them a little bit comfier than these ones. And also, in terms of comfort, I found that this heel part here is kind of high up, so anytime I flex my foot this way, that this would kind of dig into my Achilles and like rub on my heel. So I didn't love that, to be honest. I usually wear higher socks, so it probably wouldn't be too much of a problem, but if you are one to wear lower ankle socks, that could maybe be a little bit of an irritant for you, as it is for me. I do like the traction on this. I do find that it does add a lot of traction onto the bottom. Of course, these are going to get dirty really easily, and I'm not sure how this kind of mixed material is going to clean up. That would be my one concern with this, and I'm not really sure what the proper wash and care are for it either. It doesn't really list it other than like hand wash them, but like with what am I using? I don't really know. So that's kind of my first impressions off of these. They are cute-ish. I don't know. They had potential. I just wish they didn't have this kind of indenty thing in the design of them. I wish they were a little bit more crisp in the like white and brightness of them, and then I would definitely be a lot more intrigued and kind of gravitate towards them. But for those reasons, I just don't love them, and I feel like I am probably going to be returning them. But just to show you in comparison to my Blissfeels here, which are probably my favorite shoe from Lululemon, these ones are great, not necessarily for running, I would say, but for walking and standing in all day. If you are on your feet, I highly recommend these. These have been really great, but casual sneaker, running sneaker. So the heel portion, I feel like is definitely a lot more structured and stiff in the CITYVERSE, and I feel like it is a little bit higher, although more narrow, than the Blissfeels. And then the side cutout of them, this one's a lot deeper in the cutout versus like the running shoe. This one obviously has a little bit more like support to keep your foot in place, I would say, because of the heel clips at the back. And then these ones don't have like a full rubber sole like these ones do. They're quite flat. This one has more of a tread pattern to it. But for me, like walking, standing, I don't think that's going to make a huge difference in them. I feel like the Blissfeels do have a little bit more arch support for me personally, and for that reason, if I am walking a long period of time, I'm probably still going to gravitate towards my Blissfeels over the CITYVERSE. For me, these ones I love. Now these technically are the Blissfeel 2. These are a size 6.5. Again, these run very true to size, but I do have a pair of the initial Blissfeels, so I would say they are pretty similar in kind of design and feel. The only difference that I could really tell is these ones are slightly roomier in the toe box. These ones were a little bit more narrow. However, I didn't find them being an issue at all. Like I still love the Blissfeel ones versus the 2s. These ones are just too small for me now postpartum, so I did upgrade to the Blissfeel 2s. But both are a really nice sneaker for, again, walking and standing in. I don't think they're that technical to run in. I probably would choose my Hokas for that purpose. But if you are looking for something, let's say you're walking around Disneyland, you are a retail worker or you're a nurse, you are whatever on your feet a lot, I highly recommend checking out the Blissfeels. And what's great about all Lululemon shoes is they do have a 30-day trial period, so you can wear them, and if they don't live up to your expectations or just what you're looking for, you can return them for a full refund. So that is excellent. That's a little bit about the Blissfeels. And then I also have the Chargefeels here as well. These are the Chargefeel 2s in white. See how this one's a lot more of a crisp, bright white? This is what I wish this was. Honestly, I think the only difference between the Chargefeel 1 and 2, they did add the heel clips for more stability back here, but I kind of liked the design of the initial Chargefeels a little bit more than this one. Like I just feel like this one's not as cute. I loved the kind of design here of the Chargefeels. But if you want a full breakdown of the Blissfeel versus Chargefeel, I do have a video on that previously, so you should definitely check that out so that this video doesn't get too long. But the Chargefeels are more of a kind of training running shoe, so I love these for berries, like HIIT workouts, Orange Theory, something where you're doing running and lifting, so it's a little bit more versatile. I don't love like walking in these. I feel like they aren't as like cushiony as the Blissfeels, so again, this is probably my #1 shoe. This is a close second though, especially for working out. I would prefer to work out in these than the Blissfeels. And then again, kind of obviously this one's a little bit more of a technical shoe than a casual sneaker. So it does have the heel clips back here to kind of keep your foot a little bit more positioned, and then a little bit more flexibility in the upper here. So a bit lighter and more flexible. I don't know, I guess that's kind of mostly the differences. I would say that the heel part back here is kind of similar actually. So I'm surprised that these ones kind of bothered me, but maybe I don't notice it as much in this when I'm training as like just casually walking. I don't really know. This one does have a different tread pattern. Again, here's a Blissfeel tread pattern. So the tread pattern on this one is supposed to kind of help you have a little bit more agility than the Blissfeel ones. I don't know if that's like necessarily true for me, but maybe that's because I'm not like too technical of a trainer. I don't know, both of these shoes I do really like. I wish I loved these ones. I think minus those 2 things I mentioned, I would love these ones. They are still comfy, don't get me wrong. However, I just didn't love the design of them. So if that's something that's not holding you back, I highly recommend checking them out. They're still a great shoe, but personally, I don't know. It wasn't a love, and for the price that they are, I feel like it's too expensive to keep in my closet. But that brings us to the end of this video and kind of my first initial thoughts, impressions, and review on the new CITYVERSE sneaker from Lululemon. If you tried this shoe, let me know your thoughts down below. Or if you haven't, let me know what you think of them. And hopefully this video was helpful for you. Again, if you want kind of a more in-depth Blissfeel versus Chargefeel shoe comparison, then be sure to check that out. I will have that also linked down below in the description for you. If you do have any other further questions, leave them in the comments and I will try and answer them for you, because I know this video was a little bit more on the brief side for kind of the Blissfeel 1 versus 2, Chargefeel 1 versus 2 comparison. But hopefully you found some useful information in here, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more Lululemon content, and be sure to hit that notification bell so you're notified when I post new content. And with that, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.